This episode is sponsored by UPMC Altoona Elite Orthopedics and the UPMC Sports Medicine Concussion Program. UPMC Altoona Elite Orthopedics and the UPMC Sports Medicine Concussion Program are proud to support youth sports across our region and proud to sponsor the 2022 High School Football Preview on the Altoona Mirror YouTube channel. To learn more about their board-certified orthopedic surgeons, their specially trained concussion management experts, and the wide range of orthopedic conditions they treat, or to schedule an appointment in one of their facilities in Hollidaysburg, Ebensburg, or Bedford, visit upmcaltoona.com/ortho or call 814-889-3600. That's 814-889-3600.
You know, you can see my face. I have my hat up high enough. You still see my Kraken logo. Or people go, what hat is he going to wear next week? I have an Altoona Rail Kings hat.
Oh, no, that'd be cool.
My brother John got me that for my birthday, back in the 90s, and I kept it. It's a nice hat.
I said the Rail Kings haven't been here since
90s. Yeah, I got
since
it
before
around
the curve,
96.
right?
Yeah, there before the curve. It's just black with a green A and a gold track. I'm sorry.
You ready, guys?
Thrilling stuff.
Oh, that would be perfect for it. Welcome to week 2 of the high school football show for 2022 on Altoona Mirror, YouTube TV there. My name is Scott Franco. I'm joined again by football guru Mike Boydum and our the new guy on the block here, Andy Stein. And before we start, we want to thank people. We asked for towels. We got towels right off the bat, but before we do that, we got a helmet. Instead of a gender reveal, we're going to do a helmet reveal. And so I imagine Dan is putting in the drum roll right now. So as that drum roll, we'll wait for that cymbal. There it is. Andy, what is our helmet there? You can pop it out there. Go ahead.
Yep, here we go. We got ourselves a Mo Valley helmet, and we were talking about that. I thought I was going to have to get a hold of Michael Keith for this. Turns out a guy named George Daniel, he was 3 years younger than me. We all called him BT at Mo Valley. I can't tell you what BT is because this is a family show.
There we go.
But he watched our show. He said, hey, I have 2 helmets. You can have one of mine. So I met up with George the other day, and thanks a lot, BT. We owe you one.
How is Houtzdale reacting to you picking against your team week 1?
They are not happy about it.
But you were right though.
But I was right. I was 17-3. I'm in first place. I'm starting to do the heel turn though.
But I don't know about the rest of you. But now for the rest of the evening, I'm going to wonder what BT stands for. So,
I'll tell you later.
We'll tell you. But anyways, and also Mike and I also got some towels. Mike got one here. We don't know which one came first because Mike had his when he was golfing. But we got, and we're going to hang them up on the thing back here that my daughter Maggie made for us a couple years ago. We got an Eagles towel, Tyrone Golden Eagles Attack, and then we got in the mail, which means they had to pay to mail this to us, which always impresses me. And I love this color, this Carolina blue. But we got from the Herald family, Panthers football. And I told Andy here as I was opening the mail, I was kind of sad because Garrett as a senior, and I thought, oh, we're not going to get stuff anymore. But then I remembered they have another kid, so I
another one
thought,
coming. There
cool,
we go.
free stuff for at least a couple more years.
What?
So thank you to.
And it's interesting because Tyrone and Penn Cambria could end up playing each other
So
in the
we can
playoffs.
have the
They've actually played each other the last 2 seasons in the postseason.
So you know what we don't have yet, Mike, and I hate to pinpoint it out, but we don't have a Bellwood towel yet. I'm hoping we get a Bellwood towel. I'm hoping we get an Altoona anything. Altoona anything. We'll take anything if you have a wash rag.
Coach Leverage is going to hate this show.
No, he loves it. I talked to him the other day and he called it the JV football game.
Yeah.
So anyways, let's get right to our picks that Mike has for us. The first game on the schedule, we're going to get Mike and Andy talk about Allderdice 0-1 at Altoona 1-0. Michael, what are you expecting from this game?
A lot of what we saw last week out of Altoona, running the ball. They were a little bit rusty. They're working in some new skill players, but they fumbled a couple times in that first half. But the second half, they took care of the ball, and they were able to put away Hollidaysburg. Allderdice has some speed, but Hollidaysburg had some speed too with those receivers, and Altoona was able to limit that. Hardison had a nice interception. And then Sean Betwee had the big interception to close out the game. So even though Altoona doesn't throw the ball, they have skill guys in that secondary that can make big plays and get the ball back in the hands of Altoona. And then, as they showed last week, driving the ball for nearly the last 5 minutes of the game, they can run a quarter down on you real quick.
And Andy, just as somebody who's played in, Altoona plays their big rival Hollidaysburg, and they win it, so that's a nice win. Then the next week you play a team that's not really. I mean, did your coaches, Coach Camberg, ever sit there and worry about a letdown? After you've coming off such a big win.
Yeah, I remember anytime we played Glendale, anytime we played West Branch, we always seem to have a letdown. We always seem to start slow after that game. So I guess you never really know with Altoona this week. I know Allderdice lost a really big game to North Allegany. I think it was a 42-0 score. Not real sure what to make of that. I did pick Altoona. They won a close game last year. I'll take them to win another close game.
Our second game, Penn Cambria 1-0 at Central Cambria 0-1, and it's one of those big rival games up in Cambria County. Michael, what are you expecting from this one?
Yeah, they play for the goalpost trophy. Andy, did you guys ever play for any trophies in college or high school?
Not in high school. In college, we played for the Mercer County Cup at Teal College. We played Grove City in it, and it was.
Did you ever win that?
We never won it.
So there was never any Denny's Beer Barrel Pub trophy that maybe you guys in Kerwinsville played.
That's a great idea.
That would have been a good idea. But anyways,
this game's been good the last couple of years. Penn Cambria won. Last year by a decent amount, but the year before it came down like a 2-point conversion, and Penn Cambria is probably the better team in this one. But when I talked to Coach Fife from Central Cambria, he said, obviously they're going to be up for this game, and he thinks if they play their best game, a perfect game, that they can win this game and definitely be competitive. So it's a Central Cambria was impressive in week 1. They actually had the lead on Westmont Hilltop before they ended up losing by 2 points there. They are working in some new guys, but I think they're a little bit ahead of schedule, and maybe they can give Penn Cambria a good game here.
Yeah, and I think also the fact is that was a good game. That's going to let Central Cambria's kids feel good. But boy, Penn Cambria. I mean, they put up a bunch of points Friday night. Then you have to wait
Saturday.
a whole day. You have to wait a whole day, and you go back, and then boom, they scored 21 more points. So, yeah, what can you say there? But Penn Cambria looks like they could be loaded for bear. Next game Mike has for us: Richland 1-0 at Central 1-0. Another big game for Central. Geez, they don't get any easy ones to start with. What are you expecting from that one?
Well, and Richland's coming off a comeback victory over Forest Hills. They were actually trailing that game for a while. I think they only won 26-23 or something like that. So it was a pretty close game. Obviously, Central had a very close game, came down to a tip pass. So both of these teams are going to have experience going down to the wire. Central actually handled Richland pretty well last year, and that's going to be in Richland's minds when they come to this game. Richland's a different team, no more Kellen Stahl at quarterback, but when I talked to Coach Baker, he says the offensive and defensive lines of Central still has some work to do. He wasn't too happy with how much Jeff Hohenstein was running around in that first game, and maybe that can start to come together this weekend, and we'll have to be able to beat Richland.
Yeah, because BG, I watched the game on TV, BG was collapsing that pocket a lot on Hohenstein. Andy, what I wanted to ask you is just because taking advantage of you playing, Central played Saturday night, and now they get ready for a Friday. Does that matter much in high school? But I know in college sometimes you'll hear them say about a short week. Does it matter in high school?
I know I didn't. I remember playing a couple short weeks in college, and I know I didn't like it. Just you don't have that one day of rest, or you only have the 1 day of rest. But in high school, I think it's a little bit. The kids are resilient in high school. I think it makes a little bit less of a difference in high school for sure.
Okay, our next game, Portage 1-0 at Cambria Heights 0-1. And the specific question I want to ask you is, Michael, is just how much in danger is Cambria Heights of going 0-2? Because Portage, I thought Portage would win. I didn't think they'd win like that.
I thought you were going to ask me. I still thought Cambria Heights was going to be one of the favorites to win the district.
Dan, we need a whammy soundtrack. Did Mike put the whammy on?
I have a feeling this will be the first of a few apologies in this show. I'm not going to take back that I think Cambria Heights could win the district championship, because I think that they can still turn around, even if they would lose this game. I think they have the skills players. I think they have the line. I think that they can do it at 1A. But I will apologize to Ray Eckenrode. He said I put a curse on Cambria Heights.
Former mayor, big boss.
So I will say sorry to that, but I still think Cambria Heights is a good team. I think they have a great chance to win this game. I picked them, even though Portage, played really well against River Valley. It's a great rivalry game that hasn't been played since 1988. I mean, imagine how close those schools are and they don't play each other. It would be like, Tyrone and Bellwood not playing each other. So it's really fun to see these schools playing each other, and they're going to be playing each other every year now. And, Portage has been really good in the West Pack, and last year Cambria Heights won the Heritage Conference, so these teams have been having success recently. So this has the makings of becoming a pretty good rivalry.
I know. I'm not sure if I can't forget, but I keep thinking I can't imagine Cambria Heights going 0-2. And because they're home, I think I may have. I'm getting old now. I'm 57. I don't even remember a pick I just made like 20 minutes ago.
I remember last week we were talking about Portage and River Valley. We weren't sure who would win that game. We were all going back and forth, and
I took Portage.
Yeah, I took Portage too, and for them to win that big was pretty impressive.
Yeah. Our next game we talk about, and I have a question for Andy too on this one, but I'm going to talk to Mike first. Allegany, Maryland, 0-0 at Hollidaysburg, 0-1. Hollidaysburg coming off that loss, they were in it with Altoona right to the end, and then Altoona just out-toughed them, I guess, at the end. What are you expecting from this one?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I bet at the end of the first week, there wouldn't have been too many people that thought Tucker Rossman would be leading the area in passing yards.
Yeah, and he could have had more yards.
He could have
had more yards. There were several drops that cost him.
And I think that Homer said it in the post-game comments against Altoona. He was thrilled with how his team played, even though they lost. And this is a game that they probably need to win, because their schedule is pretty tough. They have to play State College coming up, and they probably need this one. And I think it's going to give them a lot of confidence to get this one. And lost in Rossman's passing ability. They Elijah Ransom ran for 103 yards against a really big line for Altoona. So there were a lot of positive for Hollidaysburg last week, even though they lost.
They just need to put the ball in the end zone. The question I want to ask you is, how much does it matter that Hollidaysburg's coming off a game? This is Allegany's first game. Maryland does not play. They do not start till September. I learned this with Fort Hill, which is in the same town, if anybody's wondering out there. Allegany, Maryland, and Fort Hill are kind of like Altoona and Hollidaysburg, Tyrone, Bellwood. How much does that matter to high school kids that you're playing your first game and they're playing their second game?
What I think about that is that you have 2 weeks in a row now where you're not really sure what to expect, because both opponents are playing their first game. And I know that's very hard to prepare for sure. So.
Okay. And then we're going to go to Saturday, which I think BG's going to be playing a lot of Saturday games here. I'm not sure, but BG coming off the tough loss to Central, and I'll be the first to admit, BG, I couldn't get over how well they played. If their offensive line would have played a little bit better, I mean, they did stuff to Central that I didn't think anybody could do. But they got Westmont Hilltop coming in. Westmont Hilltop's got to win. But I think BG's got to be the better football team in this one. What are you expecting?
Yeah, well, no matter who the better football team is, BG has to take advantage of its offensive possessions because Westmont will run the clock and they will possess the ball. So you're only going to get the ball 5 or 6 times for BG. So, you have to take advantage and score when you get those opportunities. And you have to make your extra points. You have to get touchdowns and not field goals. And I think BG can do that. They proved that they can score against anybody by scoring against Central. And I think that they'll be okay in this game.
And also, I don't know what Mike's stat of the week is, and I hope I'm not stealing it. Can I say the Westmont Hilltop thing you wrote down here?
No, I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't. Okay. So then we'll just save that for later. But I wanted to ask you the fact is, did your coaches ever use motivation, like as far as you're coming off a loss and saying that, they didn't win that game, you lost that game? And a lot of people, you could look at that and say, BG lost that game. Does that work? I mean, is that something that's just coach speak?
Yeah, I guess it's a little both, a little bit of coach speak, but I know we would always get reminded after a loss, especially, just hey, these guys have a win, you guys have a loss. I know we would get reminded. We would get reminded of that probably on a weekly basis.
But there you go. Now we're going to have a cross with Daniel's stat line. Mike's stat of the week. Pray tell, Michael, what is that stat of the week?
Well, even though you almost stole my thunder.
I know. He usually tells me stuff not to say before
I don't remember saying a bunch of names. But anyway, so Westmont Hilltop and Altoona combined to pass for 6 total yards in the first week. Westmont completed 1 pass for 5 yards, Altoona 1 pass for 1 yard.
Frightening.
And they're both 1-0.
I was going to say that. I was going to cut in there with it. And now we got Stein's line.
It's ahead! Short steps. Short steps are better than long steps.
What's Stein's line this week?
Okay, I got a couple notes on Stein's line of the week. The first one I have to say is Mike said we might not be done with apologies for this show. That is true because I need to issue an apology to Tyrone defensive line coach Scott Gomo. Scott, I named Bellwood the offensive line of the league last week, and well, you guys made me look bad on that one. So excellent job by you guys, and I'm sorry about that.
Anything else you want to apologize to anybody? You already apologized to Mo Valley people, right?
Mo Valley, I am so sorry about that. I took a hill turn, but hey, there's always this week, and next week, and the one after that.
Do you have a line picked this week? Which
I
line?
do, yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
Altoona. We were just talking about how they only had 1 passing yard. Well, they also had 360 rushing yards. Outstanding job. I want to name those linemen. The center is Hayden Speece. The guards are Calvin Troutman and Camden DeJesus. And the tackles are Nick Hogan, Michael Riccio, and the tight ends Chandler Brendel. Awesome job for those guys. I know what that's like when you can run the ball for that much. And, that's outstanding. And one other note, I wanted to make an honorable mention to Penn Cambria defensive lineman Mason Raymond, 6 foot, 240-pounder. He got to recover a fumble in the end zone, and as a guy who only touched the ball twice in his high school career, I'm jealous.
There's nothing like that, I'll tell you what. But that Chandler, what was the name?
Chandler Brendel. Yep.
Chandler Brendel, that could be a potential.
It's a good name.
Which is a great segue into the most favorite part of this show.
I wanna know what's the name of the game.
Even though I am told by some that certain coaches' wives out there in Blair County find Michael more funny than me. I'm not going to name any names, but if she's watching, I know who she is now. But anyways, our cool names of the week segment. Anyway, I was trying to get the phone. This name is so cool, and if you saw the kid, it's even bigger. His name is Gunnar Singleton from Huntington. He is a 6'7", 290-pound lineman.
Really good heavyweight, too.
I mean, he's wrestling?
Yeah,
oh my God, he's huge. He's huge. And then the other name, I just love it. Altoona, he's an offensive lineman, defensive lineman. His name is Seamus Schumack.
Seamus.
I just love that. Seamus, you Irish? I gotta think. I'm hoping Schumacher is Irish. That's a
What
great
if he's
name.
related to the WWE guy?
There's a guy named Shamsy. I don't.
Shamsy,
You guys,
WWE.
you three follow wrestling. I do not.
Yeah.
But that's going to do it again for week 2. We want you to remember to subscribe, like, and share our show so that we can continue to reach bigger audiences. For Andy Stein, for Mike Boyden, for the man behind the camera, Dan Eisenberg, I'm Scott Franco. Thanks for watching again.